Look, star, deputy, me, no star.
Oh, hey, Buzz, what is that?
What? Where?
Ow.
Hey.
Okay, so Toy Story 5 is here, and I have to say, it's pretty good. I don't think it's anywhere near as good as Toy Story 3, but still, I do think it's pretty good. Do I think it's good enough to justify Toy Story 6 and the end of the Bonnie trilogy though? Well, let's just save that for another video. Today I just want to talk about Toy Story 5 briefly, largely just due to the backlash that happened when the first trailers were put out for the movie. Because yes, despite everybody's proclamations that this film wasn't going to be good when the first trailers were released, I do have to say that actually, yeah, the film is pretty good. And honestly, back when the first trailers did come out for this movie, I wasn't one of those people who immediately thought that this film wasn't going to be good. Back when I first saw the initial trailers for the movie and I saw that it was going to be including tech as a big thing in this movie, I really enjoyed just thinking about how that idea was going to be portrayed in the movie. And I'm happy to say that in this movie, the inclusion of tech and how it's presented in the story and how it affects the world in that story, I think is really pretty smart. Really, the whole narrative around tech and how it's portrayed in the movie, I think is something that's been put together really pretty smartly and isn't something that I think has just been thrown together for a quick thing of, hey, toys are always going to be better than tech. No, I think it's a bit more nuanced than that. Honestly, going back to the initial trailers for the movie, I can kind of see how some people would be turned off by this idea that tech is going to just be this villain or antagonist of the film, with the ultimate moral being that tech is always going to be inferior to just toys in general. But still, thankfully, the movie doesn't actually go down that route, and it actually plays with something that's a bit more nuanced and a bit more interesting. And honestly, just from a non-spoiler point of view, I have to say that the conclusion of this movie is something that I do enjoy, but I do think could have been played with or just maybe tweaked just a little, just to get a bit more of a balance between these two different ideas that they're really playing with, just in terms of the theming for this movie. So yeah, in terms of the theme for this movie, I do think that it's put together really quite well and something that I think really is just a good idea for the Toy Story franchise to tackle.
Not bad, not bad.
Now, in terms of the overall story, just how the characters fit into that story and just how the story is put together, I again have to say that I'm pretty happy with it. Now, back when the initial trailers came out, I did see that a lot of people gave the film some backlash just due to how it presented Buzz and Woody. Woody more so with his beer belly gut and apparent bald spot. And I mean, yeah, come on guys. It's just a joke. Really, in this film, Woody and Buzz are the typical Woody and Buzz that you've come to know across all of these films. Together they bicker and banter in a way that only old friends can do, and I think it's really good to see. Apparently at some point in the production for this film, Woody wasn't meant to be in the film at all, but they brought him back because they missed him so much. And honestly, I think that was a good idea. In this film, Jessie takes over as the main character, and Woody and Buzz fall into a more side character-like role. And this is something that I think this movie and future movies will really benefit from. Largely just due to the fact that I think it feels better to just kind of ease the main characters out of their roles and ease a new main character into that role, just because it's going to be easier on the audience and easier on the characters as well. I don't think it would have been a great idea for this film to just cut Woody out of being the main character entirely, so I'm glad that they did bring him back. Now, in terms of Jessie being the main character for this film, I do think that she does a really quite good job. And honestly, I enjoyed Jessie's inclusion in 3 and 4, but I did think that maybe she could have a little bit more to do in those movies. So I'm glad that in this movie, she really gets the time to shine as a main character and really kind of slowly ease into the main character role. Now, something else that I just want to say in terms of the characters for this movie before I move on to the animation is just the fact that I think that all the characters do really well with what they've been given in this movie. Regardless of whether or not a character is a side character or a main character, I do think that everybody does really quite well with their role in the movie. Now, for the animation, yeah, it's more of your typical Pixar-styled realistic animation.
Nice.
Of course, in this movie we do get a few occasions where Pixar changes things up a little and gets a little bit more experimental with their animation style, but largely for this movie, what you see from other Pixar films is what you're gonna get. Which honestly, for the Toy Story franchise, is something that I guess I could complain about, but ultimately I'm not really going to. We're at a point where we've had 5 movies with this sort of animation style, so changing it up drastically, especially for like the last 2 films or like the last film of the Bonnage trilogy, would be something that's kinda iffy, I suppose. But still, as it is, the animation for this movie is very fluid, very detailed, and very interesting to see. But still, with that said, I am so looking forward to Pixar's next film, Gato, where it looks like the studio is finally going to change things up pretty drastically and begin to really experiment with their animation style, which sure, they might not go all in to the same extent of something like DreamWorks with their Puss in Boots films or Sony with their Spider-Verse films, but still, they are going to change things up pretty drastically from the looks of it, and I'm really happy and pretty excited to see it. So yeah, overall, I have to say that Toy Story 5 is actually a pretty good film. And honestly, it's something that's far better than people initially proclaimed it to be when the first trailers came out. But still, this is all just my opinion, so please, everybody, leave me a comment in the comment section down below telling me what you thought of this movie. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you think it was better than 4? Let me know. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to do all the usual YouTube stuff, like, subscribe and comment, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.